All right, we are back. It's been a little bit, a lot's happened personally and with the car, but personally, we just got back from the hospital. Been there for 5 days. My son caught RSV, but also had the flu, and then has a little bit of asthma, so all that compounded together to a 5-day trip to the children's hospital. So that was not fun. Had some scary nights, but we're back. He's better now, and he's upstairs sleeping in his own bed, which is awesome. So now we can get back to work on this. So we're a little bit behind. One of the things that we got was Bluebus. So let me just pause this or turn it down a little bit. Come on. Gonna get me flagged for YouTube copyright. So anyways, I was gonna go with like an Android head unit or like a stock CD player, but I really don't want to go that route. I always like the stock GPS navigation system, even though it's completely outdated and doesn't really serve a purpose. But if anybody knows me, I love factory BMW stuff and I use it when I can. It's just cool to have that integration. This car was a factory non-anything car, this wagon. Like no options, and I've said that before. So not only have we added a ton of options to it, like PDC, heated seats, the switch panel, which it didn't even have. What else do we add? I mean, all the M3 wiring stuff in the cluster retrofit. But yeah, so I wanted factory navigation. So I saw somebody parting out a factory nav car. And I hit him up and I said, hey, can you pull out the whole nav harness? Because I've pulled one out before and didn't have any problem. I pulled one out of a 2004 ZHP, a whole nav harness. It was pretty cool. It was a standalone harness. And looking at the option codes on the car, it came with factory nav. So I thought that was neat that it had the factory nav harness as a retrofit harness. And I've sold that. I should have kept it. But when I had somebody else pull it from a coupe, like a 05 coupe, they pulled the nav harness, but what I got was not just a nav harness. It was a huge audio nav harness with all the amplifier speaker wiring, the GPS wiring, the navigation wiring, some speed sensor wire. Like, it was a lot of wiring. It had wires going to the doors, which I didn't need. So I don't have time to deal with all that right now. Normally I would do it, but I just didn't have time. So I talked to Ted over at Bluebus, and he has an awesome solution, which is the Bluebus system right here. And he sells these for all e46, e53 cars, a lot of the iBus cars. And I'll put a link in the description of this video whenever it goes. But I told him about my situation and that I had planned on running the Bluebus. And I was really bummed that this was going to set me back because I did not have time to deal with this wiring harness. And he likes a challenge, so he told me, send him the harness and he will take care of it. And like a wizard, he did. In like a week, maybe 2, I can't remember, he shipped me back a factory looking OEM harness that was just for navigation. Same factory cloth wiring, wrapped at the proper spacing, had the proper connectors going to the right areas for a touring, because he's very familiar with wagons and tourings. And it was pretty cool. So let's take a look. I have some pictures that I'll insert in the video somewhere around here, just so you can see what it looked like came coiled up all nice and pretty. Since then, I've already uncoiled it and started installing it. But one of the things that he had to do was, if you look here, here's the beginning of the harness right here. This guy right here. He had to add one of these radio adapters because you need to be able to plug into the factory radio harness right here. And of course, this antenna wire runs all the way to the back. That's not going to help me because the antenna for the BM53 is in the back. So that doesn't even get used. That'll get taped off because it's not even used. So this guy is going to plug into this new guy right here. These two plugs plug into the back of the navigation screen, the OEM unit. And then there's a couple extra wires right here that he has ran that the nav system uses, which is one for speed sensor and reverse wiring. For some reason, the system needs to know that, so it gets it. So he added that. So I've already ran that wiring underneath this front half of the carpet. and it's coming right here. And you can see here's the, oh, look how nice that looks. It looks so good. And I'm going to tuck it all into the factory spots right here. I will just test fitting the length. So this is a wagon. If this was a sedan, there would be a bulkhead here going all the way across, and you would have this pathway going through here. But because this is all open, I'm just going to run the wire. There might not be enough spacing left to put in here. I'm going to try, but I don't really want this bulging out. But we'll figure out some way. I may just run it through here, the bottom of here. And I'll ground it somewhere. But as you can see, it runs the length of the car. I'll tuck it in very nice. And we will come over here. You can see here is the factory nav unit that I actually got from my friend who has an 05 M3. And the bracket is the same. You just have to reverse it. You have to swap it around so that it goes reverse, because normally this bracket, the flange is over here. So you swap it, and then you can plug it in right here. And this is a HK amplifier that I got from a convertible. Has the same output, so I'm going to use that. And I redid a custom bracket to use so that it can bolt in here properly. Another cool thing is, you won't be able to see it from here, but on top of the wagons, you have, let me see, I might be able to pull this down. No. I'll just put this over here for now. So we're going to pull this down. Get one together. Pull this guy down. And we're going to take a look at the top of the wagon. Initially, I was going to install the factory GPS plug or antenna just somewhere. Oh, right here. So this is the GPS antenna that came out of the coupe. And it had its own little bracket installed on the bottom of it that I already removed, because I was going to install this into the Touring and run this wiring right here. I was going to run it all the way down this D pillar like you're supposed to in the factory instructions. But when I got up here, this car is a SOS car, and looking online, it looks like all factory BMW SOS cars have a GPS antenna already, because the SOS system needs a GPS location back then when it was working to tell BMW Assist where you were located at. And that's why when I opened this up, it already had an antenna right there, which is cool. The factory Touring antenna, bolted in with the proper bracket, wired in. So I just had to follow this wire. It's already following here. And I went through and I used a, what do you call it? Multimeter. And the multimeter, with the continuity option, allowed me to come in here and find it. I traced it all the way through here. And where is it? Right here. So this was initially plugged into the SOS module, the Bluetooth module. I removed that because I'm going to install Bluebus. This right here just plugs into the back of this guy. Pretty cool. It works. Wiring's already done, so that is awesome. So I'll take that as a win. And right now I'm wiring up. I got the Bluebus already wired in. That's just there to mock up. I'm going to figure something out later about mounting it. But Ted did a fantastic job on this wiring harness. I'm super happy. Here you can see it plugged into the BM53 antenna wire right there. I had to unplug the factory antenna from here since it's not used up front. And the nav harness he gave has its own antenna wire going from here to here. So it just plugs in right there. So this right here is in his nav harness. That's going to plug into the back of this guy. So really I just need to take these wires. So a solution he had, instead of running all the speaker wires from the front to the back, he went ahead and just bundled them right here for me. And all I have to do is depin them from the factory amplifier plug. And once I depin them, I can plug these in. I have the pinouts for it that he gave me. And once that'll solve the solution of him not having to run entire wiring from the front to the rear of the car. So that works out well. Once I get that all done, I'll wire everything up, power it on, make sure it all works, and then I will be happy I can reinstall the carpet, all the stuff, and start putting the interior back together. So that'll be fun. Another update is we got the rear end in. I need to clean the diff bad. I didn't do it. I ran out of time, but I'll clean the diff cover, and I've already drained it, so there's all the diff oil in there. Everything is assembled and torqued on the lower and upper camber arms. I went ahead and made sure that I torqued them while they were up, since they are rubber bushings, and so now they are nice and springy. They're not just hanging down when I let them go. So I'm ready to install the rear trailing arms now, which they're over there somewhere. So that's really next, is getting these rear trailing arms installed so that I can get the wheels on and I can get the drive shaft on and then get this thing on the ground. So hopefully I'll have some more updates soon. It's just taking a while with life getting in the way sometimes. You know, life is important. So anyways, that is the update for now. I'll be back with more. All right, thanks. So at this point, I finished installing the complete new nav retrofit harness from Ted at Bluebus. Got it repinned and wired like he told me to. Everything's installed, and it's all working, which is great. As you can see here, we'll flip it around. So we have this radio module and the wiring harness going to it. And then over here we have the convertible HK amplifier modified with a touring backplate so it can retain the bracket to bolt in properly. Wiring has been repinned and done to accommodate this new nav harness. And that, like I said before, that was only done so that we didn't have to run speaker wires all the way from the front of the car to the back here. Since the radio is already right here, it's a lot easier to just run the speaker wires from here to there. And that's what happened when he made this retrofit harness for me. He had the wires bundled together and labeled, and I knew exactly where to put them in here, and it worked out great. I've tested everything. It all powers on nice. Navigation unit works great. It actually gets the GPS signal inside my garage using the stock GPS antenna that the SOS cars come with. So the Touring already had it up top, which was really nice, and everything plugged in very well. I have the Bluebus sitting right in there, and it'll probably just sit there. There's going to be a cover here, and it's not going to really go anywhere. And then if we come over here, we've got the radio monitor. I can't power it on right now because I'm about to do a bunch of stuff, but it does power on. It works. The Bluebus interface was super easy to set up, and it works. I paired it to my phone, and I actually put in a few BSW speakers that I had from another part out car. So I put one speaker on this door down here, then did a mid-range, and then there was a tweeter. I put all three just hanging, wired up, and I turned on the Bluebus and played audio from my phone, and it sounded awesome. Super crisp and clear. I love it. I'm really excited to get everything wired up and the whole interior together so I can enjoy it, because it'll be really nice having the HK system in here, since this car originally did not come with HK. I also ran the additional wiring from the switch panel all the way to the back of the amplifier for the spatial audio button. So now that should work. I did test it. It's hard to tell because you don't have all the speakers. When you have all the speakers and you're sitting in the car, it's a lot easier to tell. So at this point, the audio system is done. I can go ahead and take out all the stuff. And then once I get everything out, I'm going to start cleaning the interior so that I can actually start putting in the rear carpet. I want to put in the dashboard, that metal cage that sits back there, the dashboard support. And then I want to put in the dashboard, start getting all the wires plumbed like the way they're supposed to, and then start putting everything together. And then when I get some more time, I'll get these rear trailing arms on. But stuff is starting to speed up a little bit. I still have some work to do on the seat belts. The seat belts in the back are fine, but the seat belts up front, no good. They were gummy and gunky, and you pull them out and they're really slow. And then I sprayed some cleaner on it, some mold release cleaner, because there was some mildew on them from the car sitting, and it took care of the mildew. But it gummed them up even more. So when you pull them out, they just kind of stay out. They don't retract. So I took out the seat belts in the front. They're on the table over there. And when I get some time, I'm going to take them outside, pull them all the way out, have a clamp hold it, and then I'm going to spray with a pressure washer and just clean them before I put them back in the car. And I think that'll really help. So, yep. So we will be back with more updates. Hopefully I can get some progress done on this interior tonight. All right. It's probably only been like 30 minutes, but anyways, I cleaned out all the junk and the leftover stuff inside the car. Took all the modules out except for the gauge cluster. I'm looking at it right now. I forgot to take that out. But I will take that out. So now I already had the front carpet in place. I put that in before I put the heater core in. So that's always been there. But I got a vacuum cleaner. I vacuumed the best I could with my crappy vacuum cleaner, and I'll get it detailed later. But I got all the grit and the stuff out of it, and cable ties and pieces of wire and insulation and stuff like that. And I wiped down everything after vacuuming. I wiped down with a rag and simple green. So I think I got it pretty presentable before I start putting carpet and panels back in. So here, this used to be covered in a bunch of metal and dust and overspray, and a lot of that stuff came off, so it's looking really good. A lot of missing pieces here. I can always get that later. And I will install like the battery strap tie down, but I tried to vacuum up in there and vacuum up in there, wipe down all these little areas down here, and we come in here and I vacuumed the carpet. Let me get a better view. So yeah, we vacuumed the carpet, I vacuumed the floorboards, and then I wiped down the floorboards and the sills and everything to get it pretty presentable. I don't know who I'm presenting it to, I just keep saying that. But I think this is clean enough to go ahead and start installing stuff. So I'll get the gauge cluster out, see if I can get that dashboard frame bolted in so I can actually start putting the dashboard in, and then get that rear carpet in here and vacuum it up, and hopefully I'll have some more updates. All right, a quick late night update. Progress is, sorry I'm in your face, that I've got the carpet installed. I vacuumed the carpet as much as I could, but it's used carpet, so it's got stains. So I'll need to get a good detail and carpet clean later on. Went ahead and put in the dashboard brace structure. Actually, I had to take it back out and then put it back in because I didn't route the fuse box properly. I had everything bolted in and was so proud of myself, and was like, oh, that's not gonna work. So out it comes, and then was able to get the fuse box routed properly. So there it is. All the wires ran, everything routed. Steering column is bolted up in place, and airbags are bolted in, the curtain airbags, and that airbag is plugged in. There's no power going to the car right now, so I do like to play it safe. Then I have this black dashboard I'm ready to put in. It's from a 2004 ZHP. It was extremely dirty from sitting for probably almost a year and a half. So give it a good wipe down and a good simple green clean. Looks much better. And cleaned out all the little crevices that you can't get to when the dashboard's in. So that'll be good. Hopefully some of these creases come out with heating over time because it's been almost sitting on it. But yeah, we'll get this thing put in and I'll be back with another update. All right, I think last one for the night. Went ahead and got the dashboard bolted in. So everything lined up pretty good. You know how it goes, a little wiggling here and there, and it finally goes into place. But yeah, let's take a look. So we have carpet, we have a dashboard, and I just need to work on getting everything bolted in, like the cluster and the modules and all that stuff. And we'll come over here. Pretty cool view seeing it from inside here. Come over here, take a look on this side. Much better than nothing, and way better than the beige interior that was in here. So getting really excited about putting all this in. It's just buttoning little things up and getting the headliner back in, all the rear stuff. I can't wait to put the seats in here and the door panels. The thing about the door panels I'm going to have to do is, since I converted and retrofitted this car from a non-HK to a HK system, I have BSW speakers, 6.5 fronts and 6.5 rears. And luckily this wagon was a non-HK car, so that means it had 6.5 rears instead of the 6x9s. So I can use the sedan 6.5 speakers in the back, and they plug in and they bolt into the speaker cups in the back, which is nice. The problem comes is the door cards that I got, the tan and red door cards, came from a pre-facelift car, and most pre-facelift cars didn't come with HK. I'm sure a few did, but most of them didn't. And the little speakers, the mid-range speakers in the front and the rear door panels, they are non-HK speakers, and the cups are a little bit different, little speaker cups. So I've already did some test fitting, and I'll show something in a video later, but it should not be a problem with taking the speaker cups out of the door panels. And here, I'll just show you. So you have the speaker cup right here. This is an extra one I have. I have a much cleaner, nicer one in the actual door panel. I'm just using this for testing. But you can see right here, this is an HK black speaker cup, and this is a non-HK cup. And I need to use this to look good in the door panel. So if you can see here, there's the difference right there. It's much deeper. So this is the BSW speaker that came out of here. So this needs to go in here. And because this is a lot smaller than the factory HK unit, it should actually fit in there pretty good. I just don't want to wedge it in there yet. But once I get that in there, then it's just putting in this back plate that goes back there too. So we'll see how that fits. I may just be able to hot glue it in like the previous owner did. I think the previous owner broke some clips. That's why they had to hot glue it into theirs. But whatever, I'll mess with that later. But the bottom line is I should be able to get all the HK speakers into the door panels with the proper red speaker insert grills. So that's what I was looking forward to. I was dreading thinking of running non-HK speakers because they're so small, and I think the impedance is different too, so it probably wouldn't sound that great with the HK amp. All right, so I will be back with more updates. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. All right, thank you. Let me collect my thoughts here. What are we doing? Oh yeah, last update was the dashboard was in. Now this update is that a lot more of the dashboard is in. And getting a sneak peek as to what this interior is going to look like, which is pretty cool. But yeah, let's go ahead and just show it off. So here we have, let me see. We have the M3 SMG steering wheel with the Storm Motorworks paddles, and along with the shifter and the gator ring. Got some of the trim pieces in. Some of the other ones are broken. They kind of fit, but then they fall off, so I got to get new pieces. But we have the dash, the carpet, the cluster, the radio, all the front end stuff, and it's all plugged and wired up. It works. It turns on. And so I'm just getting all the little bits and pieces together, and then I get sidetracked because I want to do other stuff, and then I wanted to throw the door panels in just to see how they would look, and I'm super excited to see what this is going to look like in this car. I think it's going to look awesome. I wasn't too sold on the red, but I got it pretty dirt cheap with putting it together. I think I paid, man, $200 for the front red M6 seats. They're Indianapolis red, but they're almost a 99% match to tan and red. And I got the door panels and the tan and red touring seats in the rear from some guy up north. I think I paid like, I don't know how much I paid. 900. Yeah, 900. It was the everything but the front seats, which kind of stinks, but at least I got the M6 seats to do that. But anyways, so yeah, you get a sneak peek, take a look here, and I think it looks pretty killer. I mean, you can see a little contrasting of the dark blue, and I think it looks awesome. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think. But really starting to see this come together. So gonna have to take a few days break. Got a trip to DC coming up, and then once I get back, got to get back to work, and then more family stuff. So we'll see how much gets done. A lot of late nights here. I'm pretty tired. So anyways, I'll be back. Thanks, guys. All right, we are back. It's been some time. Again, more progress has been made. I know I've said that before, but a lot of progress has been made this time, and I'm super excited. Sorry, in your face. So I've got pretty much the full interior back together. Dash, carpet, rear cargo, headliner, pillars. I'll point out some areas that were interesting, mainly because I had to modify like the B pillars to work because the guy I bought them from didn't know that they were from a non-sunroof car, slick top car. And slick top B pillars are shaped differently and have a different profile than ones from a car with a sunroof because the headliner sits further down than a slick top which sits further up. So the B pillars don't exactly fit on the brackets properly, so you have to modify the brackets on the B pillar itself with the holes to get them to fit. And even then, even when they fit, they still don't fit great. So, but they'll do for now, and then I'll get some other B pillars later. Visually, they're okay. I know that they need to be changed out. But I've got the rear seats in, all the door cards. It's tannin red from a pre-facelift wagon. I picked up that set, probably like maybe half a year to a year ago, and it's just been sitting in storage. And then I picked up a set of M6 seats that were Indianapolis red, and it's a very, very close match to tannin red. You'd have to look really close in direct light to see a difference. In a car where there's shade, you won't really notice it, but I'll show it to you when it's all done. But what we have here is, I'm just going to show you, here's the seats. I just finished cleaning them up, wiping them down, and this is the passenger seat. This is the driver's seat. Look at that there, beautiful seats. I got this from a guy on Instagram, super cool guy, and I'm gonna tag him on Instagram when I post these pictures up. He sold these to me for a steal. I paid $200 for these seats. It was a little back and forth with shipping and all that. Like, he'd never done anything like that before, and neither had I, but I put in a lot of effort, and he did too, and he followed all of my directions, and he went out and got a pallet off Facebook Marketplace, and he made it happen. So huge thanks to him, and these seats were just amazing. He already refinished them because they had some damage on them on the bolsters. He had already refinished them. I was going to use them in his car, and he decided to go a different direction. So all in all, with shipping, I think I paid a little over $400 for these, shipped from California to Atlanta. And M6 seats do bolt into an e46. M5 seats do not, but M6 seats do. They even have the same control panel for the seats, memory seat control. They also have lumbar and bolster, and they are heated. So we'll get a little close up here. I just finished changing out the outer seat rail to the one from a sedan. And the difference is the one from the sedan has the mounting spot for the seat belt. Coupes do not. Coupes bolt to the chassis on a bar on the floorboard. So yeah, I've got the seat rail swapped in, and these seats are ready to be bolted in. I just finished cleaning the carpet with the carpet cleaner. So I'm going to install these seats now, and then when they're installed, I'm going to show you the full interior. All right, so got the front seats in, got everything figured out. Found out that one of the bolster switches was bad. The driver's side bolster, the little side things, they weren't activating, and usually there's one of two things. Either the switch is bad or the pump and wiring is bad, and it's always a 50-50 on which one is going to be. But I was like, the passenger side's fine, so I took the driver's side lumbar seat out, or the bolster switch out, and it had water damage. So I was able to test it by jumping the 12-volt wire with the two inflatable wires for inflate and deflate, and it worked. So I just got to order a new switch, no big deal. But here we go. We are going to do the reveal of the interior now. I think it looks awesome. Let's take a look. Bam! I think that looks awesome. This interior has really come together. We got door panels, we got black cube trim. I still have to take the door panels back off because I have M3 mirror bases coming in, so I can get these mirrors bolted on, so I got to get to that wiring. But I just wanted to get it on here so I can visualize everything. So we have M6 seats, Indianapolis red. As you can see, it is a pretty darn close match to the tan and red seats in the back. I think it looks awesome. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments. I'm just kidding, I just wanted to say that. Let's take a look here. More door panels. Got the rear seats. Got the little pet thing here. Anybody who drives a touring knows that it's like mandatory that you put this up, even if you don't have pets. For some reason, every touring person loves to put this thing up. It's like a signal, a beacon to tell everybody, I have a touring, my pet net's up. So I'm doing it too. This looks good here. Functional cup holder. Got the little cubby. Look at that. 3 Series Executive. Not really, but it looks cool. And we'll take a look around here. We got the back assembled. Everything's clean, carpet cleaned. All the panels are in place. All the black trim is in place. I have D-pillars. Even got the little roof pieces here that are always broken. Everything's good. Nothing's broken. This car was originally a non-nav car. I've said it before, but I retrofitted all of the navigation stuff. And of course, when you do that, then this piece would have worked if it was a non-nav car, but it doesn't. Doesn't fit. So I'm waiting on the one that has the hump that comes out right here, and that one will fit. So I got 2 of these. I gotta get rid of them. I'll probably sell them or something. But other than that, everything looks fantastic. I still got to put all these black trunk trim pieces in. There we go. Got the M sill plates in. The black plates here. Got the headliner in. It's dark in here, so it's really hard to see it, but it is all there except for that piece. This piece right here, would you believe this piece right here? Come on. So the alarm bracket is comprised of an upper and a lower piece. That's the upper piece. That one's fine. This is the lower piece. This one is NLA. You cannot buy it anymore. So you can get them on eBay. This one has, it looks good, but the little nubs on the inside are broken. They're gone. So these little things right here have nothing to grab onto when you plug it in. And so it just falls right off. And you need this so that you can put the alarm cover on, that anthracite alarm cover with the ultrasonic sensor. So I got to get my plastic welder out. I loaned it to a friend, and I'll plastic weld these tabs in place and then that piece will go on. If that doesn't work, then I'll just order the piece, but I think that'll work. I'm not too worried. You gotta get some work done on the center console. There's all the wiring for the rear heated seats. This car is pre-wired now for rear heated seats. I did not do the rear heated seat elements yet. I have them ready to go. They're all stored in a bin over there. I just need more time. I did not feel like de-skinning these seats to put the heated seat elements in. That'll be a project for another day and more videos, I suppose. But that one I'll be able to document the process of de-skinning these seats and fitting the elements in there. And all the wiring is there though. I have the wiring for both sides right here underneath this, and then the wiring for the seat backs is also under here. It comes down under here and just sits right there. So when it's ready, it'll all plug in. Get another look from a side view. These M60s look so good. They're very cushiony. I still got a crease in there I need to get out. I don't know what that is. It was definitely a lot worse before. And then I had this leftover cubby right here. It's the first aid kit cubby. It actually has the first aid kit in it. So, and then we got the Storm Motorworks paddles, and or the shifter and the gator ring and the paddles, and the nav system works. So yeah, I think we'll come back and I'll do another video showing the Bluebus in action. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to fire out the Bluebus and connect to my phone and see how the music sounds. Let's see if we can get in here. This thing is pretty off the ground. Let's see if we can get in here. Ooh. Okay. There we go. We are in. Close the door. Oh, it's pretty late. What do we play? Bluebus is working.
We paint our colors around the stars tonight. Our stars tonight.
That sounds pretty good.
Lights on cover. I feel this way of life. Our way of life.
Yeah, well, I think that gives a pretty good idea of what we're working with here. It feels pretty good to sit in here. Let me turn this around here. Yeah, so it feels pretty good to sit in here after all that hard work when this car was completely empty, bare metal and wires, and now it has a full interior with a nice, decent audio system that it didn't have before. So yeah, hopefully this, I feel accomplished getting all that done. So that means this weekend I can really work on the important stuff, which is getting it on the ground, getting the differential input shaft seal changed, getting the axles in, getting the rear trailing arms in, and then getting the drive shaft put in with the exhaust, and put the wheels on and really get this thing on the ground so we can test drive it and make sure that the SMG system is working right. So also I was able to get the sunroof working in this thing. Yay, we have a sunroof. How awesome is that? Gotta clean some of that grease off of there. A lot of BS work to get that working though. That's a story for another day. All right, cool. Well, we'll be back probably Saturday when we start doing all the mechanical stuff to get this thing running. So, all right, until then.